Hey everyone, Trevor at Toploaded Gaming, and I have a few things to get off my chest. A while back, I made a few videos on John Hancock. Recently, Dave, formerly of D-Dave, made a video discussing Hancock and a video of mine. And while I have no issue with Dave, his video served as a kick in the ass for me to clear the air. So just to be clear, this video has been coming for months now. It seems to me that my videos seem to be used as an excuse to send hate John's way. That was not my intent. And I'm going to clarify a few things because maybe I wasn't as clear as I should have been in the past. Hopefully after this video I won't have to address this further. My videos were more of an analytical criticism into a certain thing John was and still is doing. I was trying to reach John because I saw all of the hate comments and valid criticism he was getting, and I saw a way for him to address it, at least some of it, and get some of his detractors off his ass. It seemed like a win to me at the time. In my videos, my argument was contingent upon consumer protection laws. It's not a simple case to lay out. It is a very confusing area of the law, but I'll try here again to explain it. The idea is, laws should be set in place to educate consumers before they make a purchase. This must include consumers being able to distinguish ads from regular content. So for example, in my view, being John has an affiliate link in the description of his video, and it is the same exact product that he is reviewing in his video, this turns his review into an ad. He could possibly be looking at this situation that he has a monetary incentive to make a positive review. But regardless of that, that is not the same type of video as someone that simply purchases a game and reviews it. So consumer protection laws exist in part so we as consumers can distinguish between the two. I was arguing that John can simply fully disclose that it's an affiliate link. This way people can make up their own minds if they need to get a second opinion or not before purchasing these AtGames products. Now you couple that with how crappy AtGames products are, and I think it paints a negative picture of John's own moral ethics. In my view, it's just not a good look. So I tried to point this out to John. And to be fair, John gets a lot of hate. So at the time, I was a little ticked off that he blocked me. But seeing how much hate the dude gets, he probably thought I was in that same crowd, so I understand it. He was wrong, but I get it. But am I in any way saying that John is some horrible guy, he deserves this or that to happen to him, his whole family is this or that, etc., etc.? No, and I don't condone any of that shit. Let's get a few things straight right away. I don't hate Hancock. I don't even have any personal problem with the guy. If you're the type of person that's gonna lob personal shit at the dude, that's not what I'm about. Now, I do believe you 100% have the right to speak your mind as you see fit. I don't believe in censoring comments, but I don't condone personal level shit to the degree that John gets either. As far as Patreon, some of you act like it's morally wrong to simply open one up. Well, let me tell you right away, I disagree wholeheartedly with that notion. I have repeatedly stated in these videos that I don't think there is anything wrong with Patreon. I think there are right and wrong ways to run them, but some of you take this way overboard, calling for YouTube to outright ban Patreon. How authoritarian of you. At the end of the day, the most I can feel about Patreon or people donating is people can do whatever they want with their money. And even if I feel someone is a fool for doing so, I also firmly believe a fool and their money are soon parted. But am I going to clutch my pearls and try and shame someone for making a nut? No. That is precisely what consumer protection laws are for. So even if someone is ebegging, they can do it. I don't care. Another thing I keep seeing is that John fucked over a couple of fans lying to them about their games. First of all, has this been verified? Is there any video evidence that backs up any of these claims? I don't really like speaking on things that I don't really know about, but what I will say is if you have anything in life, it's better to find out what it's worth than to just trust someone else to be honest. But shaming John for trying to get good deals on stuff, what's the difference between that and walking into a retro game store or a thrift store and seeing Little Samson for $5 so you buy it and you can't wait to run out of there to get to your car? I mean, that business owner's not rich. They could have used that money, but you just took the game and ran. What's the difference? some level of blame needs to be on the uneducated person that just gave their stuff away. But none of that matters because the same people label all these guys as e-beggars, thieves, and charlatans. Yet all these YouTubers in question have varying degrees of moral ethics, and thus they all act completely different on any given topic. For example, and I know I've mentioned this story before, but I went to Retropalooza in 2016. It's a game convention run by Jay of the Game Chasers. I brought my copy of Shantae in hopes to trade it towards something I would rather have in my collection. At the time, I was looking for a PC Engine or some expensive NES game I didn't have yet. Now in 2016, Shantae was worth like $400 to $430, and it was also considered a holy grail for the Game Boy Color. And the first person I showed it to, the guy really wanted it, but we couldn't really agree on a trade. Well, I guess he got worried that I left because every booth, nearly everyone there knew me as the Shantae dude, because this guy was asking everyone if they had seen me. So I end up running into Billy, and I'm thinking to myself, maybe Billy has something to trade. So I approach him, and he's like, "Oh, so you the dude that has Shantae." So I pull the cart out. Now immediately, Billy thought I was trying to give him the cart. Now, this is probably commonplace for Billy and a lot of YouTubers in general. I know the concept is hard for some of you to come to grips with, but even if we are just all idiots talking on cameras, there are people out there that are reached by some of these videos. Some of them want to express their thanks. Should they be shamed? Do you want to tell them that they are idiots? But I digress. I was in the middle of opening my mouth, and Billy stopped me cold in my tracks. And he says, "Now you know, this game is worth a good bit of money, and it's really hard to come by, right?" Now, if Billy is half the person some of you claim he is, this interaction could never have happened. Not ever. We were essentially alone, and it's not like he was on camera, yet he is considered an e-beggar just the same, which is why I don't take much stock in all of these comments. Now, I am not saying you cannot voice your opinion. I think you should, and if Hancock deletes comments, I don't condone that either. I believe in free speech across the board, but that doesn't mean you have to be over the top, radicalized, and lobbing personal insults. What I think is like anything else in life, when you have two very radical sides, both sides are going to have views that are inconsistent. That is just a side effect of being radicalized. And just to clue in some of you, when and if the time comes that my channel is big enough, I absolutely plan on making a Patreon. If that bothers some of you, I'm not sorry about it. Lastly, I just want to add that the notion in this country that the harder you work, the more money you make, that is bullshit. The most money I ever made in my life was sitting in the air condition, ordering people around with a laptop. With how fucked wealth is in this country, the second the average Joe gets to make a little bit of bread and people want to shame them, I don't get that. I guess that's about all I had to say. If you want to make a video about it, that's fine. I may respond to it. But as far as John Hancock, those videos served only one purpose really, and that was for me to be labeled some obsessed troll. And that is not at all the case. So, I'm just done with it. Well, until next time, this is Trevor at Toploaded fucking Gaming.